Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead coming to you from the end of the video that I've just finished recording. The question today is, do you think we will ever actually see Grey Knights hit the top tables at any tournament? My personal experience is they've been very powerful in casual environments, but they don't quite have what it takes to make the tables. Is that because nobody's really tried? Or is it something else? Certainly, when Kill Team first came out, they were considered one of the top teams. Obviously, that was in the first month when people didn't really know what a top team was, but they have Psychic, and that's pretty powerful and useful. What do we think of them now? Do we think they're good or not? Now, we're about to go into the rest of the video, and I'm going to explain why they are still, 5 months after I made the first claim, the best kill team. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Glass Half Dead. Some of you may be esteemed viewers of this channel and actually recognize what's going on behind me. That's one of my old videos, and it's clearly showing Grey Knights. Why? Well, 5 months ago, that's 1 to 2 months after Kill Team came out, I created a video that said Grey Knights are the best kill team. Madness, I know. And since then, Grey Knights haven't positioned anywhere. I think in the top, definitely not the top 10, I'd remember that, in any of the kill team tournaments that have appeared. So, surely it's time for me to revisit my video from 5 months ago and tell you that Grey Knights are not the best kill team. Well, you're wrong. Grey Knights are still the best kill team, and I'm going to tell you why. First things first, we have the models themselves, as you see rotating behind me in my video from 5 months ago. I'm not going to comment on the style. Aesthetically, that's up to you. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. Personally, while I think they are cool models, I really like Primaris. I like the bigger scale. These guys no longer do it for me. Where are they? They're over here. These guys no longer do it for me. I just think Primaris look better. Let's hope GK get Primaris instead of Squatted. Who knows? Could go either way. But what we really have to think about is for somebody getting into Kill Team, the first thing they might look at is as good old tabletop minions, Uncle Atom, Adam, I think his name actually is, proves kill teams for under $50 are a big thing. Well, this kill team is not only a single box, which is great in itself, as it's an easy purchase. You don't have to say, well, yeah, okay, so you got to buy the kill team box for the faction because that gets you the tactics cards. But then you also have to buy another box because the kill team faction box on its own isn't enough. So this is a single box kill team, and it's not just a single box kill team. You can make multiple kill teams out of a single box. That's very impressive. However, how much is it actually going to cost? Do you know? Do you know how much 10 Grey Knights cost? I've already done the maths. £37.50. Now, you are probably American, statistically, because I've seen the channel statistics for my channel, and you're probably American. So how much is £37.50? Well, before we answer that, let's all remember that you don't have to pay full retail for Games Workshop products. What else have we got? So if you go to Element Games in the UK, you save 15% and they go down to £31.87. All right, not bad. Not bad. However, again, UK based, if you go over to Triple Helix War Games, they give you 25% off, the same as Darksphere, and it goes down to £28.13p. Now that's pretty damn impressive. How much is that in dollary dues? Well, if we look up at my thing at the top here, we can see I've already done the maths. $36. So what's that going to be? $41, $42 including tax? That's including tax, guys. That is very impressive. I've got to say, it's very impressive. So, first things first, they are a single box kill team and they're cheap. But are they good? Because let's be honest, at this point, what are we? We're 7 months into Kill Team. Why am I creating a video saying that Grey Knights are good when they haven't placed in the top 10 at any tournaments that have happened so far? Let's take a look at the maths and let's build a roster. Okay, for those of you that have just come from my Zealot Cults Math Hammer video, you will see that this table, there it is, no, it's right above me. This table is significantly more manageable, isn't it? So that's another thing to consider. The Zealot Cults have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unit types they can choose from if you include Gene Stealers. That's a lot of units. However, all of those units have extensive war gear options. I've got to be honest, when I began to build them, I was a touch intimidated. I had to really read through things, and to be honest, I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It took me a while. I had to watch other people's videos about them before I could really start formulating my own opinions based on what they said and then what I read, blah, blah, blah. Grey Knights are really kind of easy. I'm not saying they're the simplest faction. That award definitely goes to Necrons. I'm not even saying they're the second simplest. I'd probably give that to somebody else. However, when you can only take a single unit type, they're matching Harlequins for what to use. They do have a lot of different force weapons. However, if you look at this above me, you will see that actually it's not much of an option, really. So the first thing we have to answer before we can understand whether or not Grey Knights are a valid, good kill team is how are we building them in our command roster? Let's find out. Now, I've done something a little bit different to the Zealot Cults before. I've come up with 2 different tables for the same weapons. We see we've got unsaved wounds here and we've got damage dealt here. The reason for this is because I felt that because all of your weapons do either D3 damage or 3 damage, your close combat weapons, which is huge, obviously, the amount of damage they were doing was skewing how useful they would actually become. So, with that in mind, I had created 2 tables. The theory there was that one of your weapons is 1 big hit but gives you a -1 to hit, but is doing 3 damage guaranteed instead of D3, whereas another of your weapons, which is generally considered to be the best weapon, gives you an extra attack. And so my thought was that perhaps the damage output wasn't as relevant, because if you're going up against hordes, which of course are big in arena now, is something we have to factor in, multiple attacks would actually, the damage that you could deal would be less relevant to more attacks being dealt. Anyway, if we look here, I don't know if any of that made sense. Maybe I'll figure it out in editing. Probably not. Okay. So let me explain a standard Grey Knight to you. They come with a force sword. There. You could give them a halberd or a force stave for 0 points. For 1 point, you can give them a falchions. That's 2 falchions. Your weakest weapon, however, with the falchion, you get a second attack. Very important. Or you could pick up the hammer for, 1 second, I've got to make sure I say this correct. It's 2, right? 2 points. Thank you, Kill Team Manager, because I don't have my core rulebook with me. For a single point, it's pretty clear that the falchions are far and away the best weapon against horde. That's what the unsaved wounds is working out for me mentally there. Let's go over to the damage. Okay, yep. Falchions still well ahead when it comes to your Gek there, your horde, your guard equivalent. But then fall behind a touch against hammers. That's fair enough. So, I will note all of these were done on the base attacks if you gave them to a standard Grey Knight, not to a Justicar or a Zealot or Combat Specialist, because that will change the maths. Then, what have we got here? We've got, so, also, all of your Grey Knights have a Storm Bolter, and the cheapest Grey Knight you can get therefore is 18 points. That would be 19 with the falchions, or 20 with the hammer. And please note that whatever close combat weapon you give them, they do keep their Storm Bolter, which, if you don't know, is Strength 4, AP 0, Damage 1. However, is Rapid Fire 2. So within 12 inches, you get 4 shots. Now, rightfully so, the Storm Bolter is the weakest of the weapons you can choose from the ranged weapons there. But it's free, so that kind of makes sense. As you can see, a Silencer, a Psycan, an Incinerator, they all work vaguely well against different things. Yeah. The Incinerator there obviously needs a bit of explanation. The Incinerator is a Strength 6, AP -1, Damage 1. I'm sure it's Damage 1. Back to Kill Team Manager. Yes, it is Damage 1. I checked Kill Team Manager again. However, like all flamers, its range is only 8 inches, so something you have to weigh up. Now, obviously, in Arena, flames are pretty good. You're probably going to be within 8 inches, but equally, if you're within 8 inches, you're probably going to get charged. It's a thing. It's a thing. But of course, then that's the beauty of the flamer. It's an also hit on the Overwatch, but then, realistically, they're probably not going to charge your Incinerator. They're going to charge the guy with the Storm Bolter next to your Incinerator, and then pile in to get your Incinerator into combat. It's going to be tricky with that. It's going to be tricky. That's tactics, though. We're not there yet. So, there are things to think about. Except there aren't. Take falchions on all of your guys. If you know you're going against Plague Marines, as that is where the hammer really stands out, is a hammer worth it? On a regular guy, no. Never take a hammer. You might want to consider the combat specialist for having a hammer. Your Justicar could take it, because obviously they get 2 attacks as well. However, then you're really front-loading all your points into your leader, makes him a very opportune target. I wouldn't put it on the Justicar. I'd put it on a combat. You could go Zealot. If you're really trying to make a hammer list, you could go Zealot and Justicar and combat. However, there's not really a reason to do that. And if you put the hammer on a Zealot, the Zealot's tactic, the Zealot only tactic, requires you to roll a 6. And because the hammer has a -1 to hit, you can't use it. Minor thing. To be honest, I find that CP are better spent elsewhere, but it's good to know. So, with this in mind, we know that we like falchions. Hammers are possible. And we seem to like incinerators, especially if we're doing arena. But looking at the other heavy weapons there, it's kind of looking like the Psy Cannon is decent. Actually, isn't it? The Psy Cannon is decent. So very quickly, the other 2 heavy weapons there, the Silencer and the Psy Cannon. The Silencer is a heavy 6, whereas the Psy Cannon is a heavy 4. Silencer is Strength 4, AP nothing, D1. Is it D1? D3. Now the D3 is what's really important there, because again, when I was making this list was made up using unsaved wounds, not damage. And that's why the Psy Cannon looks better. However, the Psy Cannon is heavy 4, strength 7, which is an odd strength to be, let's be honest, AP -1, but only D1. I've got to say, when it comes to kill team, damage is king. It allows you to make more wound rolls, or injury rolls, sorry. So, if I had decided to use damage dealt as opposed to unsaved wounds on this table, the Silencer rockets ahead, and that probably explains why it is 22 points, so 3 points total, instead of 21 points, 2 points total for the Psy Cannon. That's just a huge error on my part, and I can't be bothered to redo it. But trust me, the Silencer is a better weapon, especially because it has more shots. When it comes to hordes, you're going to want that. However, let's see what we can do with a list. Okay, and it's the classic U/missing one legs command roster here because he makes a great product. Definitely donation worthy. Okay, let's see what we've got here. This is the first list that I built. For anybody that doesn't know, when it comes to Grey Knights, you can never, no matter how much you try, fit more than 5 models in your team because they're 18 points base. So you just cannot fit a 6th, no matter, even if you give them nothing. 5 models max. You can, however, give out enough equipment that you would have to drop it to 4 points, to 4 models, which would then kind of screw you over majorly because the war gear you could give them wouldn't be nearly enough to actually be worth giving up a 5th body. So you might look at this and think that's a really boring list, maybe? So let me go through it. I don't think it needs to be gone through, but we're here. Let's go through the whole command roster. This first list is really obvious and it's based entirely on what I just said. The Falchions are mathematically the best weapon against both swarms and elites. That second attack cannot be underestimated, especially when it comes to Grey Knights who typically only have a single... They're basic Marines. They're still Strength 4, T4, 1 attack, 1 wound, but they're 18 points. That second attack given to you by a Falchion makes you reliably able to hit people. Okay. One of them's a veteran. I'll be honest, the veteran is purely for arena games. Run up, do the whole door thing, try and get the team out there a little bit quicker. Zealot Combat, I don't think those need to be explained really. Obviously the Zealot is going to take you up to 3 attacks. Strength 5, the Combat takes you up to 3 attacks. Then I have an Incinerator. Again, the Incinerator there is mainly for arena. I'm not sure if I really value flamers that much in a full kill team game. I'm undecided yet, but it's the Incinerator. Do note that when you take a heavy weapon, you give up not only your Storm Bolter for the heavy weapon, but also your basic Force Sword. So you're running in there, your close combat is now a mere Strength 4 boring attack. So I'm always wary of taking heavy weapons. I feel safer taking one of the big guys, the Silencer or the Psy Cannon, just because you know they can hang back, they're going to get shots off, and they're not going to get charged the first turn that they're within shooting range or distance or whatever. So anyway, okay, second list. Again, I don't feel I need to explain this too much. I just wanted to run a hammer time list, really. So you've got, okay, so the key with the hammer is you want to get hammers onto anything that has more than 1 attack, because having a single attack when you're -1 weapon skill, not good. So your Justicar has a base of 2 attacks, and then obviously you all know Combat, Zealot, they both get +1 attack. The Zealot's only +1 on the charge, but just make sure you kill things on the charge. Easy. Amazing. And then just because we need another Zealot, or just because we want another specialist, again I've gone with a Falchion there with veteran, and a 5th guy just with Falchions because Falchions are fun, why not? Then everything else here is an alt, as I've named them there, just alternate models, alternate things that I might like to build. If I want to have options in my command roster, if maybe I'm not playing in arena, then I could swap out the Incinerator for a Silencer or a Psy Cannon, because I wouldn't really be needing the veteran there. So yeah. Now to be clear, I don't think I would ever actually take a halberd or a warding stave, to be honest. So yes, it's a bit weird to have them in there, but I just thought I'd put them in there for fun, because why not? However, going back to the whole this is a 1-box kill team, I seem to have 18 models there. Because it's a command roster and I was building it out, and as you saw there, I did manage to build 2 5-man lists, completely different 5-man lists, using 10 models. So, you're getting 2 complete kill teams out of a single box. Anyway, this has been me, Glass Half Dead, for some reason revisiting Grey Knights 5 months after I first claimed they were the best kill team. Obviously, they are not the best kill team competitively, but when you take into account their ease of use, their price point, their ease of purchasing, their ease of building the list, I realise those 2 things are both ease of use, but go with me. And also the fact that you can get 2 full kill teams out of that box. There's no cross. You don't need, the 6th one from that list to join, make the 4th, etc. And also, they're really quite strong. They may not have hit top tables, but this is a solid team, and I have seen this team personally wipe the floor with me multiple times. And I mean, like, I've been tabled by them. I've had a swarm tabled by Grey Knights. Okay? They can seriously do some work. Anyway, it's quite possible that my next video is going to be a series of tactics shown in my standard battle report format as I actually take them on myself. Oh, in the corner here, like up there, you've probably seen a video I put in because that part of the screen was doing nothing. So I added a video there or a picture or something. The ones that are rotating, those are mine. Yes, they are Stormcast, kind of arm swapped and head swapped to make Grey Knights. They're cool. They are not finished being painted either. Hashtag don't judge me. Thanks. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I want to know what you think of Grey Knights. I genuinely think they are one of the best kill teams to tell somebody, hey, you want to get into kill team? 1 box, 2 lists, basically a full command roster in that box, and they're good. You might not be winning tournaments. They probably can, to be fair, but they are good. Tell me what you think. Glass Half Dead, signing, logging, saying goodbye. I don't know. What should I be saying? Should I just cut myself off in the middle of a sentence and that's the end of the video? Just cut off. No, I won't. Anyway, bye. Talk to you later. I've got stuff coming up. Chats, interviews, talks, etc. Bye. Oh, so hot. Fuck me. Now, I've done something a little bit different to the blah 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 blah.